What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, about a little over a week ago, there was some information that came out for the Last of Us TV show that kind of made me a little worried about how this series was going to go ahead and turn out. Basically, behind the scenes, they were told that they shouldn't go ahead and watch any of the gameplay, anything that's going on within the game to, I guess, mimic or know what they're doing. And to me personally, when I read that, I initially thought, they're not going to stick to the actual characters. They're going to go ahead and make a show that's completely opposite of what the game is known for and what it's all about. And after seeing show after show after show that is supposed to be representing, a banging game just go down in flames, seeing all that proof makes me extremely worried for what The Last of Us show is going to really bring to the table. Well, I gotta say, you guys know me. When I'm wrong, I will gladly, openly admit it. And I was 1010% wrong with, judging it so early on. I went ahead, I checked out The Last of Us TV show. No spoilers in this video. I'm not going to show any footage of the show. Obviously, I'll get copyrighted. I'm not going to show any gameplay of the story. I'm just going to show The Last of Us, campaign trailer. So it's no spoilers whatsoever, and I'm not going to talk about any spoilers. But I got to say, everything that I was worried about is not even present within the film. Now, I'm going to go over both viewpoints from someone who is experienced with the game, knows the whole story, and enjoys the overall titles of The Last of Us, and also someone who has never watched or played, anything that involves The Last of Us, and coming into this TV series extremely fresh. Now, coming from a hardcore Last of Us fans, viewpoint, it's like I said, extremely solid. I was scared that I'm going to completely stray away from the story, but all the actors in this TV show play their roles. I was going to say like mostly perfect. No, pretty good. No, they really do play them extremely well. And when it comes down to the actual storyline, I've noticed and recognized so many moments, it just clicked to me. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yes, I remember that. While at the same time being able to incorporate things that might not have been in the game without it feeling completely out of place. Again, there's nothing wrong with changing things up here and there. It's when you change the whole plot of the story, that's when we start to run into some issues, especially when you're trying to, make something that revolves around a popular game that already exists. And also one of the most crucial aspects, in my opinion, of course, of a TV series is if they get the atmosphere right, the environment, the world that we are looking at, if it's believable, if we can, sink ourselves in to the story, because that's what The Last of Us did so well. It's a video game, it's a virtual toy, yet and still the majority of all of us were able to play through that whole campaign and feel connected to every last bit. And the environment plays a massive role in that. And let me tell you, they did not shy away from anything when it comes to the environment, the world, the atmosphere, and The Last of Us TV show. Actually, I just found this out, but each episode of The Last of Us costs $10 million to go ahead and fund and produce, which means at the end of this overall season, it's going to be $100 million altogether. They are not going cheap on this TV series whatsoever. This isn't, a little cash grab. This isn't anything weak. They are really, truthfully meaning business when it comes to making something that is a banger here. And they are expecting a massive return out of this whole series. And you want to know my favorite part about being an OG fan and watching this overall series right now? The fact that I can watch it from beginning to end, at least for the first, episode. Hopefully the rest of the episodes follow up with the same exact pattern. But through the whole first episode, even though I played The Last of Us, I know, the game, and I partially know what's going to happen. Some of it's pretty believable, especially if you played the game, you know what's going down. But I still feel the emotions. It feels almost like I never played this game before. I never watched any walkthroughs, any playthroughs. I never seen any gameplay. Those are the emotions that I'm getting out of this TV series. It's insane. It's a fresh experience. Do you know how much talent it takes to be able to do something of that sort? To be able to spark that initial reaction out of someone who has already played it multiple times before? It's a task at hand, especially trying to, bring a video game into a live action film or, a live action TV series. And these actors are so dang good that I completely, I'm in. I'm sucked right back in. And even though I know what's going to happen, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready for the next episode. And then after that, I'm ready for the next episode. I want to see them all right now. I want to relive the whole game through the live action show. But it doesn't just end there. What about individuals who don't care about the game. Because, that seems to be the main, marketing strategy of a lot of these people who try to bring video games into a live action, either film or a TV series, is that they're not focused on the hardcore crowd. They're focused, on people who never even known about this game before, which is why it always turns out bad. But for once, they're focusing on the hardcore gaming crowd. So how does it look for everybody else? Someone who has never, heard or seen of The Last of Us. How is it for you? Well, my girlfriend actually watched the TV series along with me. Again, she never played it. She never watched it. She actually rarely ever plays games whatsoever. But she loves watching movies. She loves watching TV series and stuff of that sort. So she said she's going to tag along and watch it. She absolutely, once again, was sucked into the overall story. So well told, and just like someone playing the game for the first time, it's basically like her first experience with the game itself as well. And it's only going to get better and better. The way that she's acting, the way that she's looking at the, the screen, and she's, getting involved in the action, asking questions about certain things. It was the same way I came into the scene when it came, with The Last of Us 1. And it's perfection. Once again, they nailed it. They got it across the board. Not only were they able to make a TV show that lived up to the hype of what the game was known for, but they're also able to adapt it in a way that allowed newcomers to be able to understand the story as well. Just as good, if not better, than the people who've played the game since day one. There are a decent amount, maybe a few sections in this show where, it's some filler stuff here where we don't necessarily need it. It might be extending the show on a bit too long, some extra information that isn't necessary for other people. But at the end of the day, it didn't affect my experience being someone who already knows this stuff. And it only made, like I said, my girlfriend or anybody else out there who has never played the game or seen the game, it makes their experience 10 times better because it gives them a little backstory. And the backstory isn't bad. Like I said, as someone who already knows all this stuff, the backstory was welcome. I enjoyed it. I was still intrigued by the whole storyline. The only thing that I see right now that's a little strange is how they're portraying the Fireflies. Almost like, at first it seemed like they're bad, but now, I don't know, by the end of the episode, they kind of rubbed off with like a good person vibe, the good guys, which, again, I'm not going to spoil any, especially for anybody who's coming into this episode, not knowing anything. At the end of the day, there's a few things that are a little iffy, but we'll have to see as more episodes come out. We can't really judge right now. All we can judge is what came out with episode 1 here. And from what I've saw, I'm just extremely happy. And I am, once again, happy to even come back and tell you guys I was completely wrong. I was so beyond stressed that they're about to go ahead and butcher the TV show for this game. And I'm so happy to come and tell you guys that they indeed did not go ahead and ruin this TV show. If anything, this is probably one of the best TV series I've ever seen for a video game out there. TV series, movie, it doesn't matter. This is just, it's really good. And we're 1 episode deep so far. As long as they can keep this momentum, we're set. The second they lose this momentum, then I'm extremely worried. But so far, it seems like they are legitimately following the story. And as long as they just simply follow the story with very minor things, maybe messed around with here and there, that's perfectly fine because the story will be enough alone to be able to carry everything throughout, along with the acting of, these fantastic actors that we have here. So I'm not really too stressed. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor. Go down in the comment section, of course, if you went ahead and watched The Last of Us TV show. And let me know your opinions. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's completely opposite of what the game is all about? Or do you think they did a pretty good job with representing the story? Like I said again, I am absolutely in love with it. I think it is a perfect example of, what a game should be when it's transformed into a live action show or movie. It follows the story. It knows what the game does correct, but it adds a few things here and there to assist people who never played the game before. It might adjust a few things people critiqued in the past on the game, but down to the core, it keeps what made it good. And in my opinion, it's as easy as that, If Halo followed that, formula, I bet you that TV show would have been, still going absolutely bonkers. It started off strong, and then over time, it's just, like I said, the hype died down more and more and more. I hope that doesn't happen with The Last of Us, but Jesus, it was so strong of a start that I just can't even imagine a decline coming anytime soon. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, bonus I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with us too, we do so have Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me with live streams of video games, do over on Twitch, link that's in the description as well. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.